All right, family and friends, hope all is well. We're going to jump into a sensitive topic. I feel a very sensitive topic, and the reason why I want to jump into this topic is because I've had all kind of friends come to me and say, "Hey, Donovan, are you familiar with the Tennessee Education Freedom Scholarship Program? What's your thoughts on it?" I've had individuals give me the pros and cons, and respectfully, because I have a lot of friends with a lot of different perspectives, um, it's a very sensitive topic, and we want to be respectful and honorable of everyone's perspective and opinion uh, through 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 the right of the system that we have, if you will. And so I'm going to go ahead and jump into this very sensitive topic. Disclaimer: I'm not advocating for or against. I am just simply providing information to a uh, a direction that is happening, and from what I understand is happening. And so I just want to bring more clarification and opportunity to stimulate minds about what's going on here. Please do more research, fact check me, and with the professional in a professional manner. And again, let's stimulate conversation. And if we are for or not for this, we want to be respectful of everyone's opinion and thoughts. And so I want to go and say, as far as if we can get someone from the Education Freedom or Tennessee Education Freedom Scholarship Program to speak with me about this to get even more information, that'd be great. So, give you some background, at least from my end. Um, I ran for city council in the state of Tennessee, uh, for a city in the state of Tennessee at one point. Ended up did not get elected, and I ran because of the community service work that I was doing, and individuals advocated and supported me to run, and was a great experience. Did not get elected, and ended up serving as the regional vice chair for 3 years for a political party at the county level for the state of Tennessee. By the end of my third year, I did not want to run again, or go through that process, because I wanted to build more relationships with parties that were not with the party I was currently with, and I just felt like there was some conflict of interest out of respect to the party that I was representing at the time, and so decided not to run, to be able to have the access and the openness to be able to connect with all parties, if you will. And that was an adjustment, because again, I spent 3 years as the regional vice chair for a party and built great relationships to this day, and then end up going and connecting with other parties, other side of the aisle, if you will, and building worker relationships, all because I wanted to provide access to the urban areas that I worked in, through, and around, and supported within the various counties of Tennessee. And so I did so connecting with civics, a lot of things happen, to include what we're going to talk about here. And it's very important to have access and opportunity for conversation. And so I work to be a statesperson, if you will, to provide information, engagement opportunities, education opportunities, conversation opportunities. And this is where we are today. So I want to just say this real quick. I'm going to jump into this. The Tennessee Education Freedom Scholarship Program. Let me just jump off in this first paragraph here, get started here, to really bring this to perspective, or bring this around as to why this is something that's caught my attention. During the Tennessee General Assembly's extraordinary legislative session in 2025, the Tennessee General Assembly passed the Tennessee Education Freedom Scholarship Act, Chapter 7 of the Public Acts of 2025, first extraordinary session, and Governor Bill Lee signed the landmark legislation on February 12th, 2025, to establish Tennessee's universal school choice program into law. And so really I want to highlight these words right here, which is Tennessee's universal school choice program. And also I'm going to highlight into law. Let's just make sure we're aware. And Tennessee's universal school choice program into law The biggest thing here is school choice, and school choice was brought to my attention. I want to say close to 8 to 10 years ago, um, as I was building and building relationships and getting into various sectors. And so school choice was brought to my attention. And the reason why it was brought to my attention was because coming from, the public school system and just, relying on the culture of the public school system, just having something that was similar but a little different, which was school choice and how school choice affected the areas that I served, to include the Nashville and Memphis areas of Tennessee. I thought it was a a topic that I needed to be aware of and to be able to pass information on to the community leaders and neighbors that I work with when it came to school choice, because it affected the areas that I served, mostly urban areas of the metropolitan and rural areas, the urban areas of the metropolitan and rural areas and counties of Tennessee, and so in school choice and how they played a role, and so I have been advocating and just speaking on school choice for almost 10 years. And I want to go as far as to say, I want to go ahead and put up here Shaka Mitchell, who is senior fellow at the American Federation for Children, connected with Shaka almost 10 years ago. And he was able to provide through the American Federation for, or not he, but the American Federation for Children, my understanding, were able to provide a sponsorship for me to go to the American Federation for Children conference back in 2019 and in Chicago. And ironically, I stayed at the Trump Towers and for those few days in Chicago. And at the time, former Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos was the speaker, and so that's when I was introduced in a deeper level to school choice, and I've heard, I was familiar with it, but from a national point, how big it was and the conversation. And I think school choice has been like advocated since like at least 1971, so it's been around for a while. And again, this is just information as to, oh, this is a conversation. This is what's going on. It's very important to know, the conversations and how they affect, your local neighborhoods, if you will. So almost 10 years, I have been following this, been a part of the conversations. I want to even go as far as to, this is my LinkedIn page here, on my podcast, Insight into Insight. I actually invited Phil Schwenk. At the time, he was the American Classical Education, or he's a VP of schools for American Classical Education, a charter school, and I wanted just to connect with him, just to get his thoughts about, charter schools and school choice, to get more understanding. So I'll see if I can leave that link for you guys to check out there. And let's see if I can go here. This is actually me, a highlight video, and I'll see if I can send you the link. Made some really great contacts. Heard a lot. So this is me actually at the Federation for Children conference, the American Federation for Children conference in 2019. And I actually, if you can see here, this here is another video of mine. This is my YouTube channel, my Civics YouTube channel, Vote for Danavan Hylton, where I talk everything civics, my experiences. And it started off when I ran for city council. I decided to leave the channel up, through and just follow my journey to where I am today. So almost, 10, 15 years of a journey. But at any rate, this is a video that I did almost 7, 8 years ago, talking about school choice. And I have several videos discussing school choice and interviewing people on school choice on this channel. And I bring that back to say, I have a very good understanding. I've been on radio shows talking about school choice. I have organized community meetups to discuss school choice. I have done online polls. I've talked to various community leaders around the state about school choice. I've heard the good, the bad, and the ugly from school choice. I've even went as far as when I coordinated, looking to coordinate a community activity and discussion about school choice. And I was reaching out to some churches. The pastor said yes. Pastors was like, yeah, let me running by my deacons. And a few weeks later, I get a call from pastors saying, well, we can't have the meeting here at my church because I tried to bring it up at the deacon meeting, and it was so sensitive a topic. People are for it or against it, and we just don't need that type of not that we don't need that type of don't know the word I want looking for, but it didn't flow well, for the deacons, and so we want to leave that type of conversation really away from this particular body, because we need the deacons to be together and to be on the same page, and that just really ruffled our meeting, And this is from several different pastors, and I get it, and I understand the sensitivity of it all. Again, I mean, I have respected community leaders that I respect to this day. We talk through text, and they're telling me, this is why I'm not for it, and giving strong reasons. And so I want to be very respectful and humble, about this conversation again. But we do have to be able to have a discussion, be aware of what's going on, and make an educated decision on, what to do. So going into the website here, we're just going to go ahead and scroll down. Let's see, on Wednesday, March 20th, 2025, the State Board of Education held a special called meeting to hear the Education Freedom Scholarship Act emergency rules, which received a unanimous positive recommendation, marking another pivotal step in the implementation process. On March 20th, 2025, the State Board of Education accepted permanent EFS rules on first reading, which is the beginning of the permanent rulemaking process laid out in state law and by the Secretary of State's office. So, to learn more about this process and what is included, please refer to the State Board of Education's website. So, let's just go ahead and click the State Board of Education's website, because this has everything to do with our conversation. And I want you all to see what that looks like. That website address URL is actually tn.gov/SBE. That's TN as in Tennessee, uh, the abbreviation .gov/S as in Sam, B as in bike, and E as in education. Oh, I'm sorry. S as in state, B as in board, and E as in education. So tn.gov/SBE, state, which is for State Board of Education. And that way you can get familiar. We can all get familiar. If you have any questions about the State Board of Education, leave them in the comments, or leave them in the comments, or send me a message. Maybe I can do a video and jump into that, and maybe even get someone from the State Board of Education to speak with me, and we can see what that looks like. So I think I wanted to read this here, because this is what's really going to provide the foundation of it all, and dealing with the State Board of Education. The Tennessee Department of Education is working diligently to launch this program and provide access to Tennessee families. As implementation of the program is underway, so the implementation of the program is underway, everyone. The department is partnering with the State Board of Education as they promulgate rules ahead of a projected spring application launch. More information will be forthcoming. And this is what I also want to highlight: a projected spring application launch. What is that? What does that look like? And again, if anyone has any questions about the education freedom, they can email efs.questions@tn.gov. That's where you can go and send that. Let's see what else we have. What are Tennessee Education Freedom Scholarships? Let's see. Education Freedom Scholarships will allow residents of Tennessee who have a child entitled to attend a public school in grades K through 12 to use state funds toward education expenses, including tuition and/or fees at registered Category 1, 2, or 3 private schools located in Tennessee. Let's bring that back one more time. So the Education Freedom Scholarships will allow residents of Tennessee who have a child entitled to attend a public school in grades K through 12 to use state funds toward education expenses, including tuition and/or fees at registered Category 1, 2, or 3 private schools located in Tennessee. So that's pretty much the bottom line there. But in saying that, this is where I think individuals may not be agreeing with, you know, how the scholarship funds with state funding can go toward other educational expenses and not to the public school system. So I think that's where a lot of the challenge is right there. I'm not speaking out of ignorance, but it looks like at this point, through implementation, those in public schools in grades K through 12 can use state funds toward education expenses at registered, keyword, registered. Make sure you do your homework now. Registered category 1, 2, or 3 private schools located in Tennessee. And if you're open to it, if you want me to do another video on what category 1, 2, or 3 private schools look like in Tennessee, we can do that as well. Just put in the comments or send me a message saying private schools, and we can see what that looks like. How much is each scholarship worth? The proposed scholarship amount for the 2025-2026 school year is $7,295. So I'm not speaking out of ignorance. Those that are attending public schools in grades K through 12 can use the $7,295 toward education expenses, including tuition and or fees, at registered category 1, 2, or 3 private schools located in Tennessee. Wow. So how many EFS scholarships are available for the 2025 through 2026 school year? The department will award 20,000 scholarships as follows, in the order of which the department receives completed scholarship applications. Let me read that again. The department will award 20,000 scholarships as follows, in the order in which the department receives completed scholarships applications. So therefore, 20,000 scholarships, if I'm not speaking out of ignorance, and most importantly, in the order in which the department receives completed scholarship applications. So it's basically, they can say, well, you may have sent it, but we received it. And more important, we received it at this time. So it's when they receive it. So if you're looking to participate in the program, you may want to make sure that you are airtight and when it comes to them receiving it. Don't just send it to them and expect, you want to follow up, check in, because we need to make sure that it's received in order to be a part of that 20,000. If not, it's based on when they receive it and complete it. And for them to make sure it's completed, it may take a while, so you may want to move sooner than later if you're looking to participate in the scholarships. This is if I'm not speaking out of ignorance. 10,000 scholarships are available for eligible students who meet one of the following criteria. Now, I'm not sure if this 10,000 is included or if this is additional to the 20,000 scholarships, but maybe, I don't know. This is why we want to talk to someone. A student's annual household income does not exceed 300% of the amount required for the student to qualify for free or reduced price lunch as provided in the income eligibility guidelines published by the United States Department of Agriculture's Food and Nutrition Services. See the chart below. So this is where, so if you have a household of 2, I'm assuming these are your caps. This is where we want to bring someone in. We want to bring someone in and have a conversation. This will definitely be a conversation as far as the household income. What does that look like? Also says that the student is eligible. The student is eligible. The student is an eligible student as defined in Tennessee Code Annex, if I'm not speaking out of ignorance, 49-6-2602, or Tennessee Code Annex, if I'm not speaking out of ignorance, I think it's Annex 49-10-402. We can and maybe should jump deeper into these just to get a little more foundational root. If you want, let's go ahead and put Tennessee Code ANN in the comments or message, and I can jump into these codes. The more information, the better to make an educated decision. And I just want to stimulate conversation. It also says 10,000 scholarships are available for eligible students, regardless of the eligible student's income. So we definitely want to see if we could bring someone on to the podcast to see if they can break this the EFS scholarships down for the 2025-2026 school year. Let's see. Interested Tennessee families. Tennessee families should read below for additional information about how students can participate in the program. As the implementation process continues, a formal application process for families is projected to be announced later this spring. So I'm assuming there's a newsletter maybe. I'm not sure if there's a newsletter where they'll keep you in the loop. Let me just continue on and see what it says. Maybe there's a newsletter to keep you in the loop so that you can participate um, for the and be prepared for the announcement later this spring. What are the students interested families can sign up to receive regular updates here. See, if I just slowed down and just waited, it's the next sentence. So let's just click the button here to see what the form looks like so we all know what it looks like so there's no funny business. This is what the form will look like if you want to sign up for a newsletter. There it is. You'll fill that out. Okay. If you're the bad, or the ugly, if you just want to stay up to date, that's a good way to do it. So what are the student eligibility requirements for the scholarships? Students is a resident of Tennessee who is entitled to attend a public school in any of the grades kindergarten through 12. So basically, it looks like a public school, as long as you attend public schools between grades K through 12, and you have to be lawfully present in the United States to be eligible. How do I apply for my student to participate? The EFS student application for the 2025-2026 school year is projected to be available this spring. I will try my best, no guaranteed, if I can keep everyone updated on when the application process and phase is open. No guarantees. I'll try my best. Schools intending to participate. Okay, let's see. Didn't know this one. This is updated as of April 1st, 2025. Over half of all eligible Tennessee schools, or 190 schools, have indicated they intend to participate in the program. Here's a list of private schools intending to accept EFS funds for the 2025-2026 school year. Note, the list below will be updated by the EOD each Tuesday and Thursday. When new counties and schools are added to the list below, the below list, newly added will be shown at the end of their names. So you'll be able to go through your respective county and see what's what. Wow. I mean, this is just a different experience, a different, and so, but it's important to be aware. It's important to be aware, and you can make maneuvers from there as far as, educate decisions and choices. So it looks like it's a list growing, possibly a couple of newly added. And so every Tuesday and Thursday, I believe, they'll be updating the list. And last but not least, eligible Tennessee private schools. Eligible and interested Tennessee private schools should read below for additional information on how to participate in the program. Now, here's a twist. This just comes to my mind, but I know when we think of private schools, I may think of a higher end Caucasian, maybe faith based school. I say Caucasian, uh, if you will, but now, but in addition to that, I know that there are, private schools that may not be higher end, but, uh, are developing or developed. They just are maybe an urban-based private school, and it may not be, what I think a traditional private school would be. Um, so, let's look into private schools and what they look like. It could be an opportunity for urban-based private schools to get a shot. Again, I'm not advocating. I don't know. It's this. There's so many twists to this that can happen, and so we want to be able to be prepared and connect with even the private schools. What is their perspective of getting these scholarship opportunities and students coming in. Are they prepared? You're going into you're going into just different cultures. Who knows? It's just a whole different conversation. And I say this in love and respect, and hopefully, we can, see what that looks like through conversation. But moving on, what are the requirements for private schools to accept EFS funds? School has to be located in Tennessee, and the school is a Category 1, 2, or 3 private school. Keep that in mind, private schools. How does an eligible school participate in the EFS program? Verified school representatives may complete this form to receive new next steps or more information in the future. Schools may continue to check for updates on this web page. Let's click the form for the school, see what that looks like. So there's no shenanigans. This is what it looks like for the schools that, are interested in participating in the scholarship form. Alrighty, pretty simple. How does a private school become a Category 1, 2, or 3 school in Tennessee? The next steps that are required to become an approved Category 1, 2, or 3 non public school in the state of Tennessee can be found at non public schools. If you have any questions regarding this process, please email private.schools@tn.gov. And so that's what the first page looks like, everyone. And thank you all for your patience and joining me. Again, I speak uh, emotional intelligence, leadership, communication, professionalism, patience in this conversation for a working relationship and for the students, most importantly, to be able to come out on top. The families that support the students, the parents and guardians, most importantly, to come out on top. And respectfully, the students getting the education that they need to be able to be all they can be, to have the best quality of life possible. Um, I do provide employment recruitment outsourcing for mostly skilled trade employers. And I know that education and workforce development is huge, in that type of conversation. And so this does affect a lot, speaking of the Department of Education, there's even conversations about, what the Department of Education will look like in the future at the federal level for the United States of America. So again, it's a lot. And again, we give thanks for patience. Thank you again for taking time to listen to me and follow my work. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Send me a DM. Thank you for your professionalism in reaching out to me, and I congratulate you you and your loved ones for your continued success in your personal lives and careers. See you in the next video.